All right, back inside the Pirate Radio Zoom room, brought to you by Toby Williams and Cellular Warehouse. You can call Toby and his team at Cellular Warehouse at 799-7051. Also, White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Proudly distributed by Coastal Beverage Company. Joining us today from East Carolina University is Houston McCullough. Hello, Houston.
Hello.
Hello. Very formal.
Hello. Hi. Howdy.
Houston, folks have probably seen you around all kinds of ECU athletic events, but let's get to know you a little bit and your background. First of all, tell everybody what you do at East Carolina.
Okay, so I'm the first official content manager at East Carolina University Athletics, which all that basically means is I oversee the content strategy for our social media and digital platforms. And the simpler version of that is I oversee our photography, videography, and social media channels for all of our sports. So.
Okay. And prior to coming to ECU, you've been at some stops that Pirate fans are familiar with. A couple of, I guess, former conference foes with TCU, Southern Miss. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Did I leave anybody out?
Nope, those are the only two. But yeah, our fans, when they find out where I'm from, I do get a little history lesson every time I bring it up. So I've definitely been to some good places before I got here. And I grew up in Arkansas. So I grew up a Razorbacks fan, but both parents went to TCU. So kind of had to go the Horned Frog family route.
I got you.
And then did 1 year at Southern Miss, which is where I met John Gilbert. And then John came here and I was lucky enough to be brought along with him.
Awesome. So you obviously knew at least a little bit about East Carolina. I guess, what did you know prior to coming here, and what maybe did you not know that surprised you a little bit?
Well, I mean, obviously I knew about East Carolina and a little bit about its history. But the more I've been here and learned, the more I've put together puzzle pieces from my past. Like I remember we always used to go to, my family and I used to always go to bowl games for Razorback games. And I just remember being little and going to this Liberty Bowl that was freezing. And I was so miserable. And I remember like we just barely won and I just wanted to get out of there. And I didn't realize until like a few months ago that we played East Carolina. So I was at the East Carolina Arkansas bowl game and had no idea. And then I got to Southern Miss and ECU, I think actually played volleyball against each other a few years ago, and I was at that game. And it's just the things you witness, but it don't really make sense to you until you get to where you are, and you're just like, oh, I remember that from forever ago. I was really cold at that game.
Sorry, Pirate fans, for that memory that we had to bring up here. That was a frustrating one for sure. Houston, how about the ECU athletics hiatus? And I know you guys, and in conjunction with marketing and John Gilbert and everybody over there, tried to keep putting out content, doing things like that. How, what did you do during that time? How tough was your job during that time?
Well, when your job revolves around photography and videography of student athletes, it's hard to do that when you can't be around student athletes. So we've definitely had to get a little creative, and that's where I work in the marketing and fan engagement department. So that's where it kind of became a whole team effort of, okay, how do we get some content out there and stay relevant when we really don't have the opportunity to go get new content. So that's when we came up with the idea to kind of repurpose some old broadcasts and air those classic rewinds, and then do those like video game baseball simulations.
Oh yeah.
Not a video game person, so I had nothing to do with that other than just the posting on Twitter. But to start out with, it was kind of how do we get creative given the situation we have. And now it's like, okay, COVID's here, it's our reality. So now let's try and find a sense of normalcy. And luckily I have been allowed to go back out to practices. So I've been able to go to football practice. I'm going to volleyball later today, soccer, basketball. So it's kind of nice to finally get back into the groove of things. But in terms of the hiatus, obviously we're working from home if we have to. And it's been kind of nice because usually during the season, I don't get to be home very often. And it's weird. I've gotten to go to the beach a lot and travel to go see friends that I haven't seen since college, which usually is not the lifestyle of working in college athletics. So it's kind of nice to have the time off because I know when things get back to normal, I'm going to miss it a little bit.
Houston, I do not like the new trend of less access for people like me with the athletes.
Right.
I do like that East Carolina has done a fantastic job over the past few years of showing us more of the student athletes. And I really enjoy that. You got some big personalities with Holton Ahlers, Jaden Gardner, and I like that you guys are highlighting that. How about that part of the job to kind of highlight that they're more, I like to always say they're more than just like robots playing on the field. They're actual people. So how much do you like kind of getting that out to everyone?
Honestly, if that's what I could do every day and post about every day, I would. And that's on my favorite part of the job and why I like to work in college athletics and not like pro sports or anything, because getting to work with college level athletes, I think, is just a unique experience because you're working with these kids who are on a serious level, but they're still growing personally. And I'm fortunate that I get to be close enough with them to be at practice. And I think like with men's basketball, I got to go on their retreat last year when they went to the Outer Banks. So getting to spend like personal time with them and like that team bonding scenario is really fun. And especially like seeing their personalities in practice. Like I love going to men's basketball and watching like Pig and Jaden just have fun at practice. It's probably my favorite part of the job.
Yeah, that's really cool. And like you said, we're getting some athletics back, hopefully a lot of practice for you to cover. So is there a little more optimism maybe around the office when you do go in and talk to people and talk to John Gilbert and your folks?
Yeah, for sure. And definitely when you haven't seen these people in like months, it feels like Christmas when you get to see someone back at work again. So I think the fact that we're practicing and people are in the office is we're moving in the right direction for sure.
Yeah. Well, Houston, great to talk to you, catch up with you, and let folks know the person behind the camera a little bit and behind the tweets. So keep up the good work. And, well, no fans, it looks like, for maybe a little while. We'll see on that when it comes to athletics events. But we hope to see you out at Minges and Dowdy Ficklin and Clark and Clare and all the stadiums soon.
All the stadiums.
There's Houston McCullough joining us inside the Zoom room, brought to you by Sailor Warehouse and White Claw Hard Seltzer. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.